Hey friends, in this video, we're going to talk about the pathway to a green card for victims of domestic violence. Yes, I'm finally talking about VAWA. Now, for those of you who are new to me, welcome to my channel. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey. I'm an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients all over the US and in many different countries on very complex immigration matters. Contact us at McBean Law at 516-866-3900 or visit us at McBeanLaw.com where you can book your consultation online. Let's talk about VAWA. Firstly, guys, there is a lot of fraudulent violence out there, so be very careful. We have people who come to us from time to time who are victims of this type of fraud, and they didn't even know that the person who was preparing the VAWA petition for them was actually lying about some things, and the individuals, they end up being denied, and they now have this bad record with immigration of a fraudulent VAWA petition. So be very careful. Now, what is VAWA? VAWA is the Violence Against Women Act, and it allows those who have experienced battery or extreme cruelty to file on their own for a green card. VAWA helps both men and women, and in fact, we have some clients who are men who we help with VAWA filings all the time, and so you don't have to be a woman to apply for VAWA. VAWA self-petitioners can be those who entered the United States with a visa and those who entered without inspection or admission. To be eligible for VAWA, you must fall into one of three big categories. The first category is spouse of a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Secondly, parent of adult U.S. citizen children. And then thirdly, children who are under 21 who were abused by a U.S. citizen or a green card holder parent. Now, the law does allow children who are a little bit older than 21 to apply for VAWA, but they must be under 25 and they must prove that the reason for the late filing is based on or connected to the abuse that they suffered at the hands of a parent. VAWA self-petitioners may apply for adjustment of status, even, again, as I mentioned earlier, even those who entered the United States without inspection. They could also apply for VAWA. However, VAWA doesn't cure all inadmissibility problems. So, for example, if you have fraud, misrepresentation, or certain crimes on your record, you will need a waiver. Work with us or another lawyer, if you're choosing, of course, to determine whether you need the I-601 waiver along with the rest of your application materials. VAWA applicants are also eligible to get the employment authorization document or the work permit, a travel document, and they may also access certain federal benefits. Now, how do you really prove that you are a victim of domestic violence under VAWA? The government has a list of required evidence that you must submit when you file for VAWA, but I'm going to touch on some bigger picture issues here that I want you to think about with your VAWA filing. The first one is this: you're going to need a very good victim declaration that tells the story of what you experienced, the horror. Right? I always say it this way: when the adjudicating officer is reading your story, he or she must be able to really visualize what you experienced, the pain, the suffering, the abuse. You've got to, methodically tell your story, as difficult as it may be to tell it. You've got to tell it in writing, and having a very strong victim declaration is something that we emphasize at McBean Law when we prepare our VAWA cases. You must also have proof, right? Proof of the abuse. It could be easy to have proof of abuse if you suffered battery, right? Because you could have a police report or medical, you may have an ER report or something like that. You have hard evidence. But if you don't have battery in the abuse story, well, you've got to have extreme cruelty and attach proof of the cruelty that you suffered over time in your relationship with that individual. Now, let's talk about some special issues related to those of you who are filing VAWA based on abuse by a U.S. citizen or a green card holder spouse. Firstly, you have up to 2 years to file for VAWA if you're now divorced. But if you're in immigration court, you have a little bit more flexibility with respect to the filing of your VAWA petition. But if you're filing this before USCIS, it has to be within 2 years of the divorce. Or if your spouse, your abused spouse, is now deceased, you have up to 2 years from the time of death to file the VAWA petition. Secondly, you must prove that you had a good faith marriage. You entered into this marriage for the right reasons and in good faith. Otherwise, your petition can be denied if you don't have evidence of that. The next thing is this, friend. You must prove that you resided with your spouse. And then lastly, you must also be a person of good moral character and submit some evidence to that effect. Now, what if your abused spouse had filed for you and that petition was denied? Could have been denied for many different reasons. Perhaps there wasn't enough evidence to prove bona fide marriage, or maybe the petitioner withdrew after things started to go south in the relationship. He or she may have withdrew their petition. Whatever the reason may be, you might now be thinking, well, I'm going to just do a self-petition under VAWA. One thing I want you to think about if you're in this scenario is that previously, you may have said a lot of good things about your marriage, right, and your relationship to the government, particularly if you've been interviewed and you're on the record talking about the bona fides of your marriage, the good faith marriage, and how great everything is, and your love story, and how you guys share a life together now. And now you want to file this abuse case. You can do that, but keep in mind that you have a record with immigration, and so you're going to have to kind of tie things together from the first filing to the second filing. What happened? What led to the deterioration in your relationship, right? It requires kind of almost reconciling the two filings so that it makes sense to the government. How did things go from being so great to so bad? But if you have battery, if that person, and this happens in relationship, if that person turns on you and beats you or something like that, yeah, go for it. Do VAWA. Also, if all of a sudden, since the denial, the pattern of abuse in the home just started, the cruelty started, talk about that. Do VAWA, right? So, but just keep in mind that you don't have this disconnect between the first filing and the second filing. Very important. Work with a lawyer if you had a previous filing, marriage case that was denied. The other thing to think about is if your marriage case was denied based on lack of no bona fides, right? It wasn't a bona fide marriage. That could be a problem for VAWA, because VAWA, you still must prove that you had a good faith marriage. So you need evidence in your VAWA filing to show it was a good faith marriage. Now, lastly, parents, if you are a parent who suffered abuse by an adult U.S. citizen child, I want you to keep this part in mind. The abusive child must be at least 21 years old at the time of filing. I've had meetings with people who said, a VAWA petition was filed on my behalf, and I really wasn't too sure about the details. I didn't really understand what I was doing and what that person was doing for me until I got the denial, and the denial said that my child abused me, but my child is actually only 12 years old. Those are the things I want to leave you with respect to VAWA. If you're out there and you are thinking about doing the green card application process on your own because you did suffer abuse by either a spouse, a parent, or an adult child, contact us so that we could take a look at your case and see how we might be able to assist you to get that 10-year green card on your own. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to share it with other people. Comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell before you go. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.